All right, positive energy all the time. Hope y'all doing great. Rep your city, rep your city. We got San Jose in the building. Everybody on Facebook, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and my other Facebook account knows that I am representing Chicago, Illinois. We got Buffalo, New York in the building. We got the great city of Pittsburgh in the house. Rep your city. This is great information. Father with Don. Father with Don says Dennis Splurling has started a petition for this matter and is gaining traction. Low key. I got to find out who that is. I'm going to look into that. That is good to know. I had a busy day. You all come on in. Let's wait till everybody get in and start the conversation. I can have a little pre-conversation. I had a busy day. Shout out to all the guys on the west side. I was out on the west side today. Helping with some, this is what prompted this one. I was out on the west side today, hanging with some young brothers, some young guys, gang members and stuff. They trying to clean up the community, trying to get their gangs to calm down and stop beefing with each other and help the community. So I was over there and I was getting on the OGs. I didn't get on the shorties. But their leadership, the older ones, I was asking them if the shorties could be out here pushing the really young kids. When I mean shorties, I mean like 20-year-olds, like in there. If they out there pushing for the teens to do better, I'm asking the OGs why you ain't getting the shorties involved with reparations, so then they could pass it down to the kids. So I was out there with that, and that's a hard task bringing that to the hood dudes, right? So then I had to go on the south side. So I really did get a chance to get outside in Chicago. I had to go on the south side to another hood, different gangs and stuff. And because I had already been talking about that over there, I just took it to them too. Because, the thing is, like, some of them was like hesitant, but I'm telling them, like, yeah, you hesitant until the word get out the money's there, and then all y'all gonna run to get the check. So I'm like, how you gonna let everybody else do the work to get the check, but then you're gonna be one of the first ones to try to run in line and get the check? You're gonna beat the ones that work to get the check to be distributed. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to run trying to cash out. You're going to be the first one. And that's an easy conversation here on YouTube because can't nobody talk back. But in the hood, it's different. Depending. When I say in the hood, I got to explain that. We have different elements in the black community. We have different types of black people. Now to the church going black people, the workers, the family people, this is an easy conversation. I have it with them all the time. And they were like, you're right, brother. A lot of them, they say, yeah, my grandfather was into that. Or my daddy was into that, But I'd be around the, I don't know what I want to call them. I don't want to say nothing negative. I'd be around the, I don't know what to call them. I got to think of what to call them. So I'd be around the streets, I guess you would call them. It's not really the typical uh, working black person society and stuff like that. So I'll be around them, and it's like 4 generations of them. Street, yeah, because the kids, I just throw them in there because they're outside. So they're going to grow to be different kind, but while they're outside, they represent the streets. And then you got the brothers there, 40s and 30s and 40s. And the 30 and 40-year-olds are actually the OGs. And the 50, 60, 70-year-olds, I don't think they got no term for them. I think they call them OGs too, but it's really the street OGs call us OGs. It's just confusing because the 50s, 60s, and 70-year-olds don't have direct contact with the 20, 30-year-old and the teens. They don't have direct contact. The direct contact is mostly with the 30-year-olds, early 40s. They mostly have the direct contact with the 20-year-olds and the teens. So the 50, 60-year-olds, people like me, don't have direct contact with the 20-year-olds and the teenage gangbangers. We don't have direct contact because where our lifestyle is set up, we're not outside as much as they are. Basically. So as far as like cars outside, dudes outside washing their nice cars and stuff, that's going to be the 30-year-olds in the mid 40s and down. That's going to be that group. My group, 50, 60, they're washing their cars in the garage, on the back patio, like that. Are they receptive to what I was presenting? Uh, uh, I would say, yeah, the OGs, some of the 40-year-olds, but the young ones, the 20-year-olds, gang members and stuff, I couldn't say receptive because I wasn't presenting it like I'm presenting it to the OGs. So the OGs is in the way I'm talking to them, it's in a way where they could be receptive or not. I don't allow, the shorties, I don't allow them to decide they're going to be receptive or not. I talk to them real forceful. So it's kind of, they don't really get an opportunity to not listen to what I'm saying. I guess the best way to say it, the way I say it, I don't say it, it's not multiple choice with them. It's pretty much shut your little ass up and listen, like that. And I'm harder on 21 and older because they would be the ones getting reparations. So the ones that's 20 or early 30s that's starting to have babies and are going to be growing into families, those are the ones that mostly but it's not. I don't. The streets is rough, so I can't talk to them like y'all need to like that with them. It's every group has a different delivery, which is very interesting. If you're going to be a teacher outside, I'm an outside teacher, so the internet is cool, but I'm on the block, on the bus, out on the corner, in the neighborhood, in front of homes type of teacher, and so you have to teach according to your audience, and sometimes it's information and advice. When they're young, it's not information advice, it's instruction. It has to be instruction. The young ones are not really good with information and advice. You have to be like, y'all need to this and y'all need to that with them because they're young. So you got to make them say, I heard that OG, I heard that OG. He right though, he right though. And it's a whole different delivery. The examples I use is different. I have to use different examples on what they're going to do with the money. For example, like if it's a 40 or 50 years old, I could be like, I could talk about their grandparents, what their mother went through, stuff like that. With the shorties, I'll be like, you're going to be the first one trying to get new cars. You're going to be trying to buy your baby mama all type of stuff. You're going to be I got to tailor my conversation to who I'm talking to. So I got to entice the shorties to let them know, this is a bag. You're going to want to go get it. Because with the younger ones I was talking to today, I wasn't trying to convert them. I was just trying to make sure I did my job so they hear about it. Because I feel like a lot of y'all brothers out there, y'all ain't making sure nobody hear about it. So I just was like, well, let me make sure they hear about it because they're not going to hear about it with this current group. I think the current situation when it comes to the different knowledge, I think they overestimate the internet. And the internet is great, but the internet is not going to get to everybody. You still got to go outside. You're not going to be able to go on the internet and say something and think that's going to totally transfer out in the communities. Because there's a lot of 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds, they are not on the internet. They're not. They're not. They're not. None of my friends are on it. Listen, I got my sons is 30 and up. I got 3 daughters and 3 sons. My youngest, I think it's 30, 31. No, my youngest is 20 something. That's the girl. None of them do the internet. Not even the baby. None of them do the internet. None of my children do the internet at all. Mm-mm. None of their mamas do the internet. Mm-mm. None of my exes do the internet at all. They absolutely don't. I think I think one of my queens, I think she only do the internet if she by herself and she turn me on and go to bed and watch and listen till she go to sleep. But other than that, uh, I got 6 children, 6 offspring. None of them through the internet. My oldest does Facebook, but they only do Facebook looking for posts from family members. That's it. They don't look for nothing on Facebook but posts from the family, a baby shower, a baby picture, and stuff like that. A lot of foundational Black Americans do not like the internet. A lot of Black men have made the internet not fun. They brought their negative, overbearing behavior and ran a bunch of people away. I get a large amount of Black men that are disgusting. They come over here. They bring nothing to the table. They make it as unpleasant as possible. Full grown men trolling. Um, it's just ridiculous. The amount of fake, what I want to call them, gangsters, I guess, is unbelievable. The amount of type brothers, and when they outside, they ain't not like that. Like you not like that. You know, when you go on the block, the real shooters, they're not on the internet. I like that. Some of the young ones are, some of them, some of the gangbangers are the shooters. Some of them, I ain't gonna say they all ain't. Some of them, but they would never click on my video. They only click on other gang members' videos. They keep that in a gang member or ops. That's it. They only following their ops and their gang. They keep that in that circle. They don't be trolling regular people. But you do have these Black men that try to make it as unpleasant as possible. So my point is, you got to go outside. So I'm trying to push reparations. You got to go outside to really get the message out there. You have to stimulate the older generation, because I talked to a couple of brothers, it was like 70, 75, 73, and their generation, there wasn't no internet and stuff, so they just didn't keep pushing it, because push it to who? So they heard about reparations, they know about reparations, they know the whole history of reparations, but they don't have anybody to share that with. And there's no reparations boots on the ground. Like there's no spot, no community spot where people meet to talk about reparations and all that. We got to get to that level. There's no way to express, there's nowhere to express reparations or promote reparations in the Black community other than the internet. To be honest with you. So I was looking at that, and I was talking to some of the guys, and working on that, figuring if we could get something out, if it's nothing but some sheets of paper, some type of little pamphlet, some type of little 4-page newspaper about reparations, that we could make it where at least you could see something, updates on it and stuff like that. So I was talking to the OGs about that. I was talking to some brothers about that. Some brother got 5 cars. I'm like, bro, you could have took one. You're going to have to donate when I start this. Man, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I know you got me, boy. You got 5 cars. You're buying mink coats. You're buying jewelry. When I come over here to collect this money for this reparations information, I'm not trying to hear no stuttering and shit. I said, well, some of them they want to get the gang members. I said, well, you got to give them something constructive to think about. But I was really, trying to, when it comes to reparations, I think the number one thing, I think, I think the number one thing we could do for reparations as far as the information and building up the hype, I think is to try to figure out a way to target the elderly. Seriously, I did learn that today. Because the older ladies, one lady, I think she was 80, the older people I talked to on these blocks, once I said the word reparations, they just start going, yeah, they in it. But yeah, they know all the history and all that. They was a part of the early reparations ideology and all that, but they're not connected to this new push. So I got to figure out, because they're not on the internet. So I got to try to figure out how can we get that to the older brothers and sisters so that they can know this movement is going on. They don't know that that movement is going on. So we're going to have to get it maybe in the church or something, but we got to get it to the older generation. But I was just out there. It was a mistake. It just came up. When I was on the west side, shout out to the Vice Lords and the folk called hustlers out on the west side. When I was with them, the conversation just came up naturally some kind of way. So then, because I had been talking about it, then when I went over on the south side and I was out there with all them GDs and stuff, I just continued the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not on the block or outside like that. And it's like the shorties, they ain't got nothing to think about. They don't got no motivation. They don't got nothing to think about. The internet is definitely not connected with the streets. The internet is make-believe because none of that's transferred into the community. Even people that watch what we do in the community, once they go outside, they don't mention what they watched on YouTube. See that? So some kind of way we got to break that cycle. But like I told them, I was fair. I said, but don't feel bad because we got a bunch of people, bandwagoners on the internet, and that's what I'm talking about. They ain't standing on nothing. They ain't even, I don't know. All they posting is their vacations and stuff. I see all these foundational Black Americans. You could, when I go to your Instagram, you know how you go to somebody's Instagram and sometimes you'll see what they posted. There should be at least one reparations now. You don't got to post it all the time, but why is it nowhere? It's nowhere on your Instagram. You should always keep that in the top 16. I when it go down a little bit, delete it and repost it. So when they go to look at your other stuff, at least have that there. Why that's not there? For me, I constantly delete stuff because I don't know, they're going to end up probably trying to kick me off of the other social media platforms because the most I post is my videos going to be on YouTube. And I don't think they're going to like that. So I'm letting everybody know, oh, this is live and that is live. So you go to my Instagram, all you're going to see is the banner. Like right now, if you go, you're going to see the banner. You're going to see this, telling them to come over here and watch that. And I think I got to calm that down a little bit because they're going to be like, well, all you're doing is directing people from our, you're telling everybody. Now, X isn't going to mind or Facebook because they can watch me on Facebook and they can watch me on X. Instagram haven't got to that level yet. They can watch me on Kick. They can watch me on Twitch, so they don't mind. But they can't watch me on Instagram. I don't think Instagram is going to be really happy with me telling them they all leave Instagram, come over here and watch me at this time. But you got to do what you got to do. We got to, especially YouTube, we definitely got to make YouTube our television stations. For sure. So we can battle with the, we got to be able to battle with the TV. And so as I was telling the brother, I was like, I was like, it's some of us, we out here pushing for reparations, and it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be a shame how many people gonna go get in line compared to how many people is pushing it. This is Black people's downfall. You don't never want to bake the cake, but you want to eat. Dude, that's got to stop. You want to eat. You don't want to cook. You don't want to bake the cake. You want somebody else to do all the cooking, and then you want to run in there and then eat, and then you're not going to be respectful and let the ones that cook eat first. You're going to not only do you want to eat, you're going to want to eat first. And so that's what I was telling the brothers. I was like, yeah, but then when reparations come, the people that's ignoring it now, all of a sudden they're going to be gung-ho about going to get the money. And I can understand them for those that don't really know, but the ones that see us pushing it and don't never get in and help, come on, man. You're watching Tyreek all the time. You're watching Ados all the time. You're watching all these brothers and sisters talking about delineating and reparations, and you don't never like one time go on your timeline and post reparations now. That ain't going to kill you. But then as soon as the ones that are doing the footwork make it happen, now you are happy. Man, we finna get reparations. Oh, no, man. I'm going to get mine. Here we go now. It's like, bruh, you bogus. You know what I'm saying? Hey, some of the OGs, they didn't like my message a little bit because I'm like, I started bringing up the foundation of the gangs, so they didn't really like that. Because I started bringing up the foundation of the vice lords, the GDs and them, and I'm like, where the knowledge part at? Where's the wisdom and knowledge part? Where's that at? I'm just saying. Y'all know y'all lit? Y'all know y'all literature? Okay. Why I don't see none of certain literature? Why I don't see that? Why I don't see none of the literature? Like a lot of you all that's just what we call civilians, you don't know what I'm talking about. But when you see these gangs be out of order. They are not going by what their gang is supposed to do. That's a fact. And that goes for the BDs, the GDs, the Blackstones, the Vice Lords, the Four Corner Hustlers, the Crips and the Bloods. None of them are going by what they're supposed to do. None of them, I'm telling you. They not standing on it, none. And like a lot of the OGs, they're not even telling them. And you can't get no RICO for telling them to stand on the righteous parts. You could get a RICO for encouraging them to do crimes, but you ain't gonna get no RICO. You know what I'm saying? We was pushing this long before Tariq. I remember we used to wear shirts about reparations in middle school. We definitely was pushing that. But Tariq is not, the thing about Tariq, a lot of people don't understand is Tariq is pushing, not really pushing reparations. Tariq is pushing delineation, which hadn't been pushed. So, in all fairness, uh, they be misrepresenting Tariq. Tariq Nasheed is pushing delineation. The delineation is what he's really pushing. And nobody was doing that before him. And so a lot of people taking Tariq, and because of his leadership with delineation, they're attacking him based on that leadership, and they're just putting him as this leader all over the place, which is totally wrong. All he really was the one that defined a new mindset. That's really all he did. All he did is take what Claude Anderson and them was talking about and gave it an official title. And so now they trying to, always bring up his name like a leader, but he was popular before he did that. He's definitely not a leader. He was popular before he did that. I'll give you an example. He trademarked Foundational Black Americans. If I go right now and make a T-shirt and put that on there, he will not strike me because he didn't trademark it to own it personally. He trademarked it so no other race of people could trademark it. So he was blocking other people from taking our new title. And I was born in 1958, so Foundational Black American, to me, I got a more understanding on what that is. Because we were already Black Americans. And so a lot of people, they let the foundational part throw them off. But it's foundational what? Black Americans. And we were already Black Americans. So why would you be upset because you put the word foundational in front of it? But nobody thinks about that because they just see FBA. But no, it's foundational what? Black Americans. We already were called Black Americans. All we doing now is saying which Black Americans are we? We're the foundational Black Americans because you're a Black American if you're Black and you have American citizenship. See, Mexican is like your culture and race. American, the word American is your citizenship. So that's the difference between American and Mexican. Black American is based on your skin and your citizenship. Mexican is not based on being from Mexico. It's based on you being a Mexican. So they're not at all the same. And so foundational Black American is the word foundational stamps you to slavery. You understand? Because to get slavery, you have to prove you've been here. You have to be You have to have been here because slavery was the foundation of America's economics. America was built on slavery from the very beginning. George Washington had slaves. The first president, George Washington, had slaves. So slavery is the foundation, and those blacks are foundational, our relatives. And so because a lot of people don't know the knowledge, they just be talking about him and they don't even know the knowledge of foundational Black Americans, and then they're just speaking on dude. And they don't even study like first. A foundational Black American is lineage. How the hell he could be the leader? Because a foundational Black Americans is our lineage. That means my great grandmother is foundational Black America. So Tyreek is her leader. She's dead. Make it make some sense. Foundational Black America is a lineage. Okay? My grandfather and grandmother is foundational Black Americans, based on what we say, trace back to original. How the hell is he the leadership of them and they dead? How are you going to be the leader of a lineage? That's like saying you're the leader of Italian Americans. How the hell you going to be the leader of Italian Americans? You could be the leader of the mafia. You could be the leader of some Italian organization, but you can't be the leader of Italian Americans. You can't be the leader of Irish Americans. Yeah, right. So how you going to be the leader of a lineage? So when people call them a leader, they're showing you they don't even know what's going on. They're speaking on something and they don't know. But he has leadership qualities for pushing it. We give him the respect as leadership qualities because he's out in the front leading delineation. I would say he's the leader of delineation for sure. I would say that because there was no delineation until him. Not really, not that I remember, and I'm 68. So he's definitely a leader, and he's been a leader since he'd been doing Hidden Colors and all that. He's definitely a leader, but he's not the leader of a foundation of Black Americans. That's ridiculous. That's crazy in itself. But he definitely has leadership qualities. Your leadership qualities become more than obvious at around mid 50s, early 60s. So for people like me, I'm 68. I'm looking at the 60-year-old Tariq Nasheed. Definitely leadership. It ain't going to be the same one today. So a lot of us, we know what we're looking at. You got to know what you're looking at. A lot of times a younger man like that, he's creating his leadership. He's a growing, manifesting leader. But he's going to be a real problem at 60. That's a fact. It ain't going to be this one right now. I can say that from my own personal life. The 50-year-old me ain't this me. That's a fact. So from 60 to 70, yeah, he's definitely going to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? And leadership is based on, do you got followers? So he's leader there too. because you get out disrespecting them, we're going to be on your neck. Those of us that like what he did for us, because I love what he did for us. He one of my favorite. To me, he one of the greatest in history. To me, in Black history, Black American history, he one of the greatest. Because sometimes you come up with a concept and it be groundbreaking. And when I was little, my parents came from Alabama. I was born in 1958. So we was, shrouded with coloreds, Negroes. When I was a baby, you was coloreds and Negroes. Now, if you don't know that, then you really don't know as much as I know. So you really can't respect the title Foundational Black Americans. If you wasn't born when we was coloreds and Negroes, you don't see it like I see it. Because we was coloreds and Negroes. Then we went African American and Black American. And African American was the professional term for the news and stuff like that. It had nothing to do with Jesse Jackson, but Jesse Jackson was basically in the news. That's all false, that too. Jesse Jackson was in the news. That's why he used the term Black African American. African American was a news term. This is facts. This big Pharaoh. I was here. African American was strictly a news term. That's a fact. That was not focused on us, but it was focused on all the different groups, because they used to say Chinese American, Italian American, Greek American, and so they just titled us African American. It was to go along with those titles. That's a fact. African American was created to go along with Greek American, Italian American, Chinese American, Japanese American. So they made African American. There was no just African American by itself. There was Italian American. There was Greek American. There was Polish American. And so if you don't know that African American went in with that group, you ain't no match for Big Pharaoh. Because it's one thing to hear something, but it's another thing to be there. And I was born in 1958. And if you can't say you was here in 1958, 1963, 1965, you don't know what you're talking about. You was not here. I was here. And African American was a news term. And the reason Jesse Jackson used the term African American, because he was always on the news. So he used the term that the news was using. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. But in the neighborhood, we was Black Americans. We always called ourselves Black Americans. The media, like Italians never called themselves Italian Americans. They called themselves Italians. Am I lying? Who believes Italian Americans call themselves Italian Americans? They just call themselves Italians. So who used the term Italian American? The news media. African American is a news media title. That's a fact. At the time, the news media, that's how you sounded professional. I remember the Million Man March, a big ass robbery where the Nation of Islam went out there and collected all that money, and we never seen nothing. I mean, I'm definitely ranked. I'm showing younger brothers 40 and 50. When you 40 and 50, listen, let me explain something to you. I'm glad you said that. Let me explain something to you. I'm 68. I was born in 1958, right? Now, when the next group of brothers come, and you born in 1968, right? I'm born in 58, you're born in 68. Now, if I'm born in 68, I'm outside as a kid and I know everything going on, 58, 68. I know what's going on with teenagers, 68 to 78, right? Now, let's say you're born in 1968. You're going to know everything going on from 68 to 78 with the kids. Now, let me ask you something. Am I going to know what you know? No, because from 68 to 78, I'm going to be 10 going to 20. So I'm not going to be focusing on a specialist on being a child from 68 to 78. So when you 68, when you was born in 68 to 78, you are the expert on that era. And when you go into details about that childhood, I don't even know that information. I'm giving y'all game. I will not know that information. You would be the expert on that information because the cereal that came out then and the toys that came out then, I don't know. I wasn't playing with them. So every group is an expert on their era. This is absolute facts. Every group is an expert on their era. So like my cousin's younger than me. He know all about that stuff. I wouldn't be able to name all them cereals. He would be able to name all those cereals. I can only name Corn Flakes, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Tricks, Cheerios. That's it. When you get into Frankenberry and Count Chocula and all that, I don't know nothing about that. I couldn't name all those cereals. Because by then I was older. I wasn't eating cereal like that. So there's expertise based on when you was outside. And so if you was born in 68, you would not be an expertise on Negro and colored. That had been over. But my expertise is the Great Migration expertise. I would be a Great Migration expert. I would be the one born when Black people came from the South. My mom and daddy came from the South and had me and my sister. I'm a direct product of the Great Migration. I seen the whole process from my daddy coming up here and finding whatever job and us we're living in an apartment, then another apartment, and then finally getting a house. That's part of the Great Migration. I am definitely expertise in that. The swing bikes, the baseball, basketball, all that on the block, the hide and go seek, all that. Yeah, that's my expertise for sure. The baby boomers, by the time you came, y'all didn't outnumber us. We outnumbered all of y'all. My generation, you've never matched our population. My generation was the greatest birth rate in Black American history. The boomers. After that, you had less babies and less babies and less babies. Had to start closing schools. Had to start busing kids to different schools because they was empty. This is all facts. So yeah, I'm gonna put my rank because y'all wasn't outside playing hide and go seek like us because it was only 5 of y'all. There was 20 of us out there, and that's just on one block. Down there is 20. On Main Street is 20. on 116th of May, everywhere is 20 kids. These are facts. It's an interesting thing, from 117th to 116th, when we played at night, the kids on the next block up there, they didn't play down there where we was at. I think you had to play on your block. Now, that's very interesting. Because Craig Curry and them lived on the next block. They never came down at night and played with us. I guess they was up there running around up there. Which makes sense because your mom and them want you to run around in front of the house. You can't, when it get dark, you got to play in front of the houses where all the neighbors could watch all of us. It was like everybody was your parent. So when it comes to but definitely when it comes to our different titles, I'd definitely be an expert. Definitely. I would definitely be an expert on Black people's titles. So when you hear people say, complain about African American, they don't know what they talk about because Black people never called themselves African American. We only use it in terms of the news. That was a news term. And that was used for things like this. Let's say they have a festival, with cuisine festival, right? I'm going to show you how African American was used. They have a cuisine festival. WGN come on. It's WGN News. Make sure you come down to the cuisine festival. There'll be all type of food. Chinese American, Polish American, Greek American. Now what they going to call the Blacks? See? So they had to come up with a name for the Black food. They said African American. American was used to go along with the other Americans, with Chinese American, Italian American, Polish American, Greek American, and we was the only one, a continental American, which bags up reparations, right? Because if they Chinese American, that means they from China. If they Polish American, that means they from the country of Poland. If they're Italian American, that means they from Italy. Why are we African American? Because you don't know what country we come from in Africa. Why ain't we Ghanaian American? Why ain't we Ethiopian American? So the term African American bags up reparations. Am I lying? Everybody else is a country American, right? Right? Why are we a continent American? Answer that. Why we named after a continent? Everybody else was named after a country. That proves the news did it. The news, we got to call them something. Am I lying? Jesse Jackson didn't make that up. Jesse Jackson get the credit because he's the only Black person on the news all the time, and he was using the news term. So Jesse Jackson was like African American this, African American that, African American this, because that's what the news called us. And he was in the news. He was one of the Black people speak up for us in the news. African American is a news term. I can prove. 1968. What's the big song? Say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. So you think we called ourselves African American? We never called ourselves African American. Black Americans never, ever used the term African American. It was something you filled out they had on a job application, but we was always Black. We've been Black since 1960 something, 65 or something. We was always Black Americans. We never called ourselves African Americans. Never. We didn't even call ourselves Black Americans. We called ourselves Black people. This is facts. We was black people. When your daddy never be talking, they be black people this, black people that. We never even called ourselves Americans. We called ourselves black people. So there's no need to tear down the term African American because African American was a news term. All right, yeah, black. Well, you need to stop calling yourself African American. We never called that self African American. What you need to do is stop and shut up. That's why they don't debate me, because you get on the debate, say we need to stop calling ourselves Black Americans. I mean African American. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say what year you was born. This is a fact. Listen, William. This is a fact. When there was racial issues and things, they would go to Jesse Jackson, right? And Jesse Jackson would say African Americans because that was the proper term, okay, on the news. Because in life, you don't be calling yourself none of that shit. How many kids gonna go outside tomorrow? I'm Black American. No, you just go outside and play. So even the argument of what we call ourselves, didn't nobody even do that. Who sits around calling themselves something? Like who sits around calling themselves, I'm Black American, I'm a Black American. So when I was a kid, how many times you think I said I was a Black American? Oh, none. For what? Like, give me an instance where I would be saying the word Black American. So I'm telling my friends, come on, Black Americans, let's go to the candy store. And come on, Black Americans, let's ride our bikes. Show me where you would use that in real life anyway. Because they said we need to stop calling ourselves African American. I said, I call myself Stu Gambler. I ain't never called myself that. What the hell? Lady, shut up. Nobody stands around calling themselves, I'm an African American. Like in the real world, like what? You sound stupid. There's no Chinese standing around calling themselves Chinese American. There's no Italians standing around. Come on, Italian Americans. What? I guess. The stupid shit. Nobody used that. What? Especially black folks, because we chop words down. We're not finna say all that. We're not finna say no Black America. We just gonna say black. We finna cut that down. We ain't gonna say Ronald. We ain't gonna even call you Ronald. We're gonna call you Ron. We ain't even gonna say your name, your whole name. So I know we're not saying something American, because we chop words down. We're not gonna even call you Michael. We're gonna call you Mike. I'm just saying, if you're really black. So that's ridiculous to think that we said that we called ourselves some long ass syllable shit. I ain't never heard that before. All I know is all the OGs and stuff that black people this. They're always treating black people. My daddy and my great uncles and my granddad and them, all they used to say is black people. They don't be respecting black people and black folks. Down south, we was black folks. We was not Black American. In Alabama, in Georgia, I was in Alabama in the 60s, and in Alabama, we was not Black American. We definitely wasn't African shit. We was black folks down south. I ain't heard nobody down south call us no African American. Nobody used the word African American. I'm telling you the fact. Nobody, no black people I know called ourselves no damn African American. We never even wrote it down. It'll just be on the application and we just got to mark it. That's the only choice. What race are you? African American. But we wouldn't have wrote that down there. We never wrote we was African American. We never called ourselves no damn African Americans. I don't remember us. I don't remember no song saying African American. All the songs said black folks, black people. I never heard that in a song. Never heard James Brown say, we African Americans, we got to do this and that. I never heard that before. I never heard that. So the idea we got to stop using something we never used is a little stupid. We never used that. We're just black. We tell police, "Are you just messing with me because I'm black?" We ain't never tell police, "You just messing with me because I'm African American." You know what I'm saying? I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the hell. That's not real. Black folks don't say no whole lot of syllables back. We cut them syllables down. Make this easy. Debbie just be Deb. Your mama call her Deb. Hey, Deb. We just shorten stuff. That's black culture. Always remember, somebody tell you black people using a long word, you know they lying. You know they lying. We ain't using no long words. We ain't never used no African American. It sounds weird saying it because I ain't used to saying that. I ain't never really said African American before. Seriously, I said black folks. I said black people. And I know black people. I know black folks. Now we didn't use colors or Negroes because black folks didn't use Negro. That was the news. Once again, it's the news. Your people down south never call themselves no damn Negroes. Now, they did used to say colored folks. They did used to say that until it switched to black. It went from colored folks to black folks. They used to say colored folks. Like my great-granddaddy and them and my granddad and them when they was younger. Colored folks switched to black folks. That's what they switched out. They switched out colored to black. They used to say colored folks, but that's not my group and my parents' group. That's my granddaddy and great-granddaddy and grandmom and them. See, a lot of people don't know the line because if I've had people like I'm 68 and I had people talk to me like I'm my daddy group. Yeah, seriously, most of these younger people, they don't know one group or another. They be thinking I'm my daddy's group. I swear to God, they be saying stuff to me. I'm like, what? I swear, a lot of people be talking to me like my daddy in them group. I don't be knowing what the hell you talking about. Because my daddy in them group, the ones born in the 30s and the 40s, that's the last old people. Did y'all know that? You know how y'all be talking about old people? They don't exist no more. The last old people, as far as blacks, was born in the 30s and the 40s. The 40s was the last group. Now you meet a sister, 68. Man, it's some black women, 78, fine as hell. And you better not call her old. The fuck is you talking about? As a fact, you play with a dude 55, 60, 65 now, I bet you get popped. I bet you get hurt. I bet you that. I just came from the West Side. You got to understand, Larry Hoover, like what, 74? Y'all better catch up. or you gonna be mustard. The gang leaders is in their 70s. So that old stuff, that ain't never coming back. That ain't never coming back. I know a lot of people try to call me I'm old and stuff, but I try to tell brothers, bro, you do know you ain't gonna never be old. That idea old. You do understand that. I don't know why you call me that. You ain't gonna never, that's never gonna apply to you. That concept is been gone. Y'all brothers watching me, y'all ain't gonna never be that concept of old. The concept of old is old. That's how it is. That's gone. Nobody deal with that no more. Black people ain't dealing with that no more. Black people don't deal with old no more. That's gone. Like I said, I just left the block with some 70 years old. Ain't no more old, period. You'll get hurt. If you go on the west side where I was at, or you go on the south side where I was at, and some of my OGs with that, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. Dude ain't trying to hear that shit. They're gonna fold your ass up. They still lifting weights and shit. They sunny, they swole, bro. They ain't got no walking canes and shit. You go ahead, play. I'm telling y'all the facts. I be outside. That's gone. OG mean original gangster. Ain't got nothing to do with old. That's gone. That's been gone. You might live in a small city, so you don't know. You come to the big city with that. You go to LA with that, Chicago with that, New York with that, you're gonna get hurt. You can't call a man something he don't call himself. He gonna look at you crazy. So in the streets now for black people, you call somebody old, that means you ready to be tested. That's a challenge. What you how can he prove to you he not? Because that's gonna be looked at as that's disrespect. That's disrespect. Now it wouldn't be disrespect to my granddaddy, probably not to my daddy either. But my granddaddy and my daddy, that generation for black Americans, you stayed kind of in your lane, kind of in where you at, so you could be elderly and be around the elderly group. But now, like I had to go outside, I got to go outside and be with everybody. I don't get to be old. I don't get to be old outside in no damn uh, 26. You need to catch up with the times. You don't get to, they ain't doing no elder. They not cutting you no break out there. Go out there and be, I bet you get robbed, beat up. Go ahead. Y'all get older, go outside and be old. Watch what happens to you. And nobody talk crazy to me on the west side or the south side. I'm on dummy. That's a fact. In the hood nowadays, you unk. You unk nowadays. They don't do old, they do unk. Unk dangerous, so that's why you unk. Unk is active. Unk got gray hair and stuff, but he outside though. He's still doing push-ups. That's it. Unk, that's what they say. What up, Unk? That's what they call it. Unk is different. Unk is active. That's why they don't call you grand nothing. You see? Typically in the mind, Unk is younger than granddaddy, right? Because they don't really talk about great Unk. So Unk is your daddy brother. And in this world, where I live in now, you can't play with your daddy, never. Ain't none of that, your daddy, oh, he out of there, you can talk crazy to your daddy. Not in 2026, you can't talk crazy to your daddy. That's why I be tripping on dudes. You want to talk to me one way, that you ain't going to talk to your daddy like that. That's where you fight. You're supposed to talk to me the same way you talk to the other men my age in your family. You're supposed to talk to them the same way you talk to me. You know you're not playing with your uncles and you already know what they're going to do to you. FBA is a joke. Where you from? What is you? Because you don't know what FBA is. How can a lineage be washed out? You don't know what FBA is. So you make yourself looking unintelligent. You don't know what FBA is. You think FBA is a group. And FBA is a new lineage and a new identification that's growing. You think FBA is a group. So you got to go study. You make yourself look stupid. You're looking unintelligent. You think FBA is a group. You make yourself look until you need to go study. What's your name? One Ready to Go? That's a great name when you're talking. Foundation of Black America beats One Ready to Go. What kind of cornball? You couldn't come up with nothing better than that? You got a lot of nerve. And you One Ready to Go. Bro, go back and get another name. Get a better name than that. You just post it in it. You just put anything up there. Okay, I can't. Bro, go get a better name because you don't deserve a response. He had to make up a name on social media. He come up with One Ready to Go. Bro, you sure is ready to go to hell. You might not got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Well, go get you a good name. No, I got love for you, but get a better name than that. You always been half doing stuff your whole life. Your whole life, you've been half-assed. You don't even want to get a good title on social media. Just any old thing. Embarrassing yourself. Who's going to argue with One Ready to Go? Who was two ready to stay? One ready to go, two ready to stay, three bending left. That's y'all. Bro, go get you a better title. I might argue with you. You got to get a better title, bro. I'll debate you. I'm not going to debate One Ready to Go. I'm just going to tell you. You're supposed to put some pride at your act. You know, your TikTok name or that. You're supposed to put some pride in it, bro. Your ass One Ready to Go. You ain't get no. I don't want to talk to you. Go get another name. Come back, let me know. I used to be One Ready to Go, Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll holler at you. Because I know you dumb. If you One Ready to Go, why would I expect you to know what Foundation of Black American is? And your name One Ready to Go. It's obviously you don't know nothing. You know, right away, I see who I was talking to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna argue with no one ready to go. I already know. I'm not wasting my time. For your name, one ready to go. Uh-uh. Now I'll go back and forth with you. Go get a better name. So one thing you can say, hey, I got respect for Pharaoh. He helped me get my social media name up. He kept it real. He told me my name was bogus. I'm whack and all of that. I'm a buster and all that, bro. You gotta come on, bro. You gotta do better than that. Some people would have said you should have been left. You know what I'm saying? Talking about you ready to go. Coming over here talking crazy. Change your name that I should have been left. That's what it is. If you come over here, bro, if you come over here playing with Big Pharaoh, your name is you should have been left. You should have been gone. When you come over here talk crazy. Now, not know you should have left. You should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? You should change your name. You should change your name like Michael Jack. Change your name to Beat It. You know what I'm saying? What you change? Change your name to Just Beat It, just beat it, bro. You ain't gotta wait to go. You should have been left. Change your name to I should have been left. You know what I'm saying? Change your name to Shut Up. I'm gonna shut up. Change your name to I'm gonna shut up. No, change your name to I don't know nothing. You could, it's a whole bunch of names that fit you. I'm just saying. Unbelievable. This internet is hilarious. I was gonna go with him till I read his title. I was gonna go till I said, I can't talk to you. You bootleg. Come on, don't feed no pearls to the swine. I already know, don't argue with you. He talking about something washed up. His name, I should have been gone. It's like, but of course you don't understand. You know, duh. You definitely don't understand foundational Black American delineating lineage, reparations. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you understand. Go pick up a book, read something. Reading is fundamental, bro. Come on, what we doing? Come back tomorrow. Let me know it's you when you got a better name. Change your name to I fixed my shit. You know what I'm saying? At I fixed my shit. You know? Oh my God, this internet is something else. This internet is something else. What's your mama name? Whole lost. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. Let me stop. I'm finna go in on his mama's name. That's how I be getting in trouble. I'm going on your mama's social media name. Oh boy. I love the internet. I love the internet. He's about FBA is washed up. You don't even, how could a lineage title, he don't even know what foundational Black American is. That's like saying Black American is washed up. Italian American is washed up. He doesn't even know what foundational Black American is. He thinks it's a group. But then there's some foundational Black Americans. There's some people using that like it's a group. There are people using FBA like we FBA, we the FBA gang. So there are people misleading him. I'm gonna be fair. There's people using FBA that don't know what it means, that don't know what delineate mean and stuff too. But we'll teach them, they'll learn. Because there are people that act like FBA is a, but just because they act like that, that don't mean what it is. When people take that and misuse it, you can't take the misuse of it and make that what it really is. You always got to deal with what it really is. And we got people going by the misuse of FBA and trying to make the misuse what it is instead of what it really is. It's Black American. It's just a foundational Black American. Me and you, the Black American that been here when George Washington had slaves, which ties you in to being here through slavery, which ties you into reparations. You cannot get reparations because slavery was here at the foundation of this country. So unless you can identify yourself as the Black people that have been here since the foundation of the country, then you can't get reparations. You can't come here in the 70s and get reparations for slavery in the 1800s. So foundational Black American ties us to the foundation of the country and to our eligibility for reparation, for slavery, for redlining, for all the different discriminations. That's what that is. That's what that is. So we have to, that's why I'm here. We have to constantly teach everybody what it is and bring everybody into the fold, because a lot of people don't know what foundational Black America represent. A lot of people don't know what delineation is and stuff like that. You understand? So that's why we go teach like this.
Now, if you want smoke, I'm here for all of it. But we not about to play the gaslighting game. Just like we said, FBA is not an organization, FBA is also not a movement. There is a movement, though. The movement is called the Delineation Movement. FBA is the lineage, delineation is the movement.
Go check out my brother on OGTV. There you have it. Couldn't have said it no better myself. One more time for the people don't know.
Now, if you want smoke, I'm here for all of it. But we not about to play the gaslighting game. Just like we said, FBA is not an organization, FBA is also not a movement. There is a movement, though. The movement is called the Delineation Movement. FBA is the lineage, delineation is the movement.
There you have it. We want to make sure our people know. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure people know. They don't know. We're not going to hate on you if you don't know. It's our job to inform you so you can get on code. Okay? So we're here to inform you because a lot of people don't know, don't understand what this is all about. And it's our job to make sure that you know what it's about. Shout out to OGTV. I seen him say that. I told him right away, I'm chopping that up. I chopped it up and sent it to him. That way he could use it too. Makes it much easier for us. We don't have to keep repeating ourselves. People could get the information. And we don't have to keep repeating ourselves because people are not really understanding what's going on. But it's our responsibility to teach them. You know, delineate. When you hear delineation, what is delineate? Delineate. is to describe or portray something precisely. To describe or portray something precisely. So, foundational Black Americans, we are not separatists. We are just describing ourselves precisely, that we are the blacks that been here. And it's no different than you said, you're a Nigerian, which means you're a black from Nigeria. Ethiopian, which means you're a black from Ethiopia. FBA, which means you're a black person that's been here since the country was founded. That your lineage goes back to the 1800s here. That's it. How could you describe yourself as a Ghanaian and then get mad because we describe ourselves precisely as foundational Black Americans? We are not Ghanaians. We are not Nigerians. We are not Jamaicans. So you brothers and sisters from other places, y'all foul, because y'all know we not you. And it's not no problem we not you as long as you could beat on your chest and be a Jamaican. As long as you could beat on your chest and be a Nigerian. As long as you could beat on your chest and be a Ghanaian. But now when we beat on our chest and say we're a foundational Black American, what's the difference? What's the difference in foundational Black American and Ethiopian, Jamaican, Trinidadian? What's the difference? For the Africans, really got to shut the fuck up. Because how could you say we separated by calling ourselves foundational Black Americans and you from the continent Africa and you don't call yourself no African? Africans are delineated from all the other Africans. So they really got to shut the hell up. Each one of y'all is something different. Not just country, all the way down to tribes. Y'all Fulani, y'all Aroma, y'all Amara. So what can Africans say? You're not only broke down in the countries, you're broke down in the tribes. You're definitely delineated. The whole Africa is delineation. You are Zulu. That's delineation. You're describing yourself as what particular type of African you are. You're a Zulu. So when you see the Africans hating, that just shows you they need a better educational system in Africa. Your educational system sucks because you're supposed to know what foundational Black Americans is. Nobody ain't teaching y'all nothing in Africa. And then if you're one of these religious people, you're really foul. Because you said you a Muslim. You said, you ain't just saying Muslim, you said you in the Nation of Islam. That's delineation. Shia, Sunni, that's delineation. Why don't you tell Shia and Sunni, stop being Shia and Sunni and just be Muslim? They already delineate once by being Muslim. They're not people. Why don't you say y'all just people? Why y'all gotta be Muslims? All right, but you're a Muslim. But no, you're not just a Muslim. You're a Shiite. You're a Sunni. That's delineation on top of delineation. You delineate one by identifying your specific religion. Then you delineate again by showing which one of those in that religion you are. That's delineation twice. And then if you claim your country, that's delineation 3 times. So if you're an Iranian, Muslim, Shia, that's 3 delineations. because you an Iranian, you're not Iraq, you're not a Saudi, so you're Iranian. That's delineation. You're a Muslim. You're not a Christian. You're not practicing Judaism. That's delineation. Then you're a Shia. That's delineation 3 times. Tell me if I'm lying. But you don't say y'all just need to be Arabs. Or y'all just need to be Muslims. Why y'all got to be all these different types of Muslims? Why you got to be a Catholic and a Lutheran? That's delineation. The only thing is it's not based on lineage, but it's still it's describing yourself precisely. You're describing yourself and portraying yourself as what type of Christian you are. I'm not just a Christian, I'm a Lutheran. I'm not just a Christian, I'm a Baptist. That's delineate. Religiously. So look at all these phony ass people that's delineated, that's hating on FBA. You know why? Because the world don't want foundational Black Americans to be nothing, because the rest of y'all around the world, y'all use us. Y'all use us for our music. Y'all use us for our swag. Y'all use us for our labor. You steal everything from us. The Africans got a whole big continent, but they steal from us. The African woman is wearing her hair like Diana Ross and them started. The Black American woman started that. Everything the African woman doing to her hair, she got it from sisters here. Facts. Your hair used to be nappy. You got all that blonde hair and all that from the sisters here from foundational Black Americans. African men, all them haircuts and hairstyles, y'all got that from the foundational Black American barbers. Y'all was not doing that in Africa. Y'all got that from barbers here in the 60s that start doing all them cuts and them parts and all of that. You ain't had no waves. You ain't had them haircuts like that. You had the basic short afro that you got from us too. You ain't You copy everything. Put a little twist on it. I'm just saying, so that's why they don't want us to have no identity. Because they all be stealing from us. That's why. Yeah, I seen rosters come from Jamaica talking crazy. Didn't get on stage. I don't know what to say that you're going away. I just don't want to be playing our music in a reggae style. They got the nerve to call us Yankees. But every one of your songs is a Yankee song that you're trying to reggae. Man, I could go down the line of all the Black American songs they copied and stole and put reggae on it. And then talking crazy. When y'all around the world, white, Asian, everybody, you got all your swag from us. Look at Bob Marley and them, trying to look like Smokey Robinson and them. That's Bob Marley in the waves before he went reggae. Who he copying? They did a good job, but look at Peter Tosh the Tall with the white socks on. You see, the brothers got the black socks on looking right. He was tacky, but they was poor down there. So they did the best they could. Them suits probably was used or something. Some American suits that was shipped down there with Goodwill. But they not fly like Smokey Robinson and the Miracle. They bootleg. That Bob Marley, That's Bunny Wailer in the front. That's Bob in the middle. That's Pete on the other end. A bootleg version of Smokey Robinson, The Miracle and Temptation. Now, look, you can see. You don't want this smoke now. You can see the Jamaicans copying us. And then you want to come up here and call us Yankees. Well, what the hell you call them? Bootleg Yankee boy them? What them boy them? Them boy them bootleg Yankee, you know. About the Whalers are bootleg Yankees. Them not even a real Yankee. Them a phony Yankee boy. Them boy don't want to be a Yankee. How you a bootleg Yankee? And then why would you come to LA and come to Chicago like that? And get did dirty. Coming to our turf playing. You know what I'm saying? And got chased out the country, ruined reggae. You know, that's really why reggae fell in America, because too many of the brothers came up here and was hating and stuff like that. So Black Americans stopped going. And then the gangs started getting into it and they became ops. So when the Jamaicans became ops, they had to get gangster. And then when they got gangster, they got caught, they got deported. That what really happened. You know, they don't want me to tell the whole story. That's what really happened. I lost my friend in LA because Jamaicans came to LA playing with the Crips. And the Crips started going to war with the Jamaicans. And a lot of my friends I got lost coming to LA disrespecting, playing with them doggone Crips. What made them think they was going to win? They thought they was going to win in LA against the Crips? Crazy. Rest in peace to Jabir. My one brother in Jabir was comedic. He wasn't even no roster. He was comedic, but he had the dreads. So he got shot and unalive because the Crips didn't know. They thought he was a Jamaican. And they was at war with Jamaicans. So they shot at him. I think him, Amin Ron King OG. They all comedic. They ain't even Jamaican rosters. They was representing Kemet. And they got shot at. And they ran, but they looked back. Jabir was on the ground, lost his life. He is from Chicago. Because Jamaicans went out there with that foolishness in Chicago where you can't win. I mean, in the United States where you can't win. You Africans, y'all can't win here. You Jamaicans, y'all can't win here. To the brothers and sisters from Africa and Jamaica, come here and make peace. I'm trying to give y'all knowledge. I'm not trying to war with no Africans or now, but I'm going to tell y'all, y'all come here with negative, you're going to lose. You're going to make it bad for your people. You're going to be going to war with two sides. So you brothers that come from Africa and Caribbean, y'all need to chill. Because you come here and make war with us, disrespecting us, you're going to get did dirty by us. And then the way this country works, when the Europeans see that, they're going to deport you and they're going to lock you up too. Because they're going to be like, the Black Americans ain't backing them up. We can do whatever the hell we want to do with them. That's why the Africans, the Haitians and all them, that's why they ass getting deported. That's why they don't got no backup, because they let the Europeans see they ain't had no backup. They got out there on the island. Dumb as hell. You know why? Because they come from places where blacks run it and the Europeans run it from a distance. I'm giving you game. So in Haiti, blacks run it. The Europeans run it from France or whatever. Jamaica, blacks run it there and the British run it from far. Africa, the blacks run it, but the Europeans run it from Europe. So when they come here, they used to that. But when you come here, whites right here run this. They're not in England. They're not in France. They right here. So when you a black immigrant and you come here, you're directly under whites. something you don't know nothing about. You from Africa. You under blacks that's controlled by whites. You in Jamaica. You under blacks that's controlled by whites. You from Haiti. You under blacks controlled by white. You come to America, you controlled directly by whites. There is no blacks. So that's why you black immigrants, y'all ain't like us. No black immigrants on this planet is like foundational black Americans because we the only one have a direct relationship with white Americans. They are directly our governors, our mayors, our police. Y'all got black police. Tell me I'm lying. So y'all ain't really built like that. Y'all not really the real revolution. We're the ultimate revolutionaries for black people on this planet. Yeah, Foundation Black Man, we more revolutionary than any of y'all. Y'all revolution has got to be against other black people. If you want to rise up in Africa, you got to rise up against black rulership. You're not me. You're not built like that. You're not built like that. And you can't leave me here as a slave and don't come help me and don't save me. And then I make it. And then you run over here. And then when you run over here, after I make it, now you run over here. And instead of you still coming and humble yourself, you want to come and be an op. That's what's foul about black immigrants. Y'all foul as hell. Because y'all never came to help us when we was picking all that cotton and stuff. You wait until we got free on our own. You wait until we became famous on our own. You waited until we started getting rich and making money, and then you ran your ass over here, and then you didn't come humble and be like, y'all, sorry we didn't come help y'all, but we here to help y'all now. Now you bring your ass over here from Nigeria somewhere playing. You coming here for Haiti looking crazy. Boy, this ain't Haiti. And I speak for Chicago. This is the rack, boy. You don't come to Chicago playing. Y'all remember when the Venezuelans came to Chicago? I'm still on live. Remember how people talk to me? Oh, they going to get y'all, Pharaoh. The Venezuelans going to do this. The Venezuelans going to do that. What happened? What happened? What happened to the Venezuelans? What did the Venezuelans do to black people when they came to Chicago? Everybody was saying they were going to take us over. They're going to do all this and that. What happened? When? I'm still waiting. I'll be outside. Has any Venezuelan walked up on me ever outside here? Has one, has three. When I'm on the train, I'm on the L train in Venezuela, if one get on the train, do they come over where I'm at? What y'all think? What y'all think in Chicago if the word get out that the Venezuelans is ops? How y'all think that'll really go for them? I don't know. I don't think y'all understand. They not only sent them back, not only can they battle us, they can't handle the hawk. They're not soldiers like that. We live in below zero with boots on. They from warm climates. They're not from all of the elements up here. They can't handle the hawk in Chicago. They can't handle the Windy City. They would have all had pneumonia. When they came up here, the first time, that first spring came, they got on buses or whatever, they got the hell out of here and went south or west, where it was a little warmer. They was out here freezing. They was in like You know, like how you have a doorway, like you be outside where it's businesses, and you know, there'll be a spot that's back with two walls sticking out. They was trying to sleep outside with their baby with a blanket. It's like 20 degrees. Yeah, that first year, they was out there in that hot freezing. And what the shorties called them? What the gang members called them? Chicago different. They call them the VDs. The black gang members run up and talk to them. What up, man? Hey, man, the VDs, they cool, they cool. And the VDs were like, yeah, we cool, we cool. You better be. You know what I'm saying? The shorties would treat them like they BD, the BDs. The shorties didn't consider them no kind of threat or nothing. They was out there smoking with them and kicking it with them. That's like the VDs. Now, if you know anything about gang culture for the Chicago down there in Parkway and them, to be out there smoking, hanging with them, that mean they ain't did nothing foul. That mean they was pussycats. They was nice. Because if they would have did anything, they would have been ops. But right off the top, the Latin Kings was at them. The Latin Kings hurt a bunch of them because they got that gang from down there. And the Latin Kings like, y'all cannot bring that up here. We run the Hispanic, you know what I'm saying? So they beef was immediate. The Latin Kings didn't even wait. The Latin Kings was at them the day one. Day one, there was casualties over in Little Village. I'm telling you. And I was trying to tell everybody, they ain't got to worry about the blacks. They got to worry about the Kings, the Deuces, the Latin disciples. That's who they got. They ain't got to worry about us. Anybody in Chicago know what I'm talking about? Would y'all tell them? Oh, for them grade. Hey, they never had to worry about us. They was never a threat to us. They was a threat to the Latin gangs. That's who was highly offended. Nah, y'all can't come over here with that Trinitario. No. A war popped up before they got here. They got did dirty over in Little Village. Right away. That's who had meetings on them. We wasn't tripping on them. I know I wasn't tripping on them. I was on some WAW. WANW. I was on some Wisher N Wood. I was like, I wish. That's all I was thinking. I wish you would. Boy, I wish. What? Where you from? Venezuela, you from the backwoods, boy. You ain't no gangster. You from the backwoods. What you got, a hatchet? What you got, a hatchet? What's that? What you gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? You got a hatchet? They was getting on the train and they would go from car to car. And sometimes go to car to car and they would try to rob people, right? And I remember when they first got here, I had to go downtown to take care of something. So I was on the train. And I'm all the way up by where the conductor at, because I always get on the first car where the conductor at. I ain't got to worry about a bunch of crazy, because the crazies don't come where the conductor at, because the conductor call the police. So to have peace of mind, I always go sit right next where the conductor at, right? But they don't know all that. So I was sitting there, three of them, they was going from car to car. When they came to my car, they looked around and they looked at me. And then I looked at them. And then they went back the other way. Because it would have been deadly to just even walk close to me. That would have went bad. Because that's what I was on. Don't come within 15 feet. That would take time. I was like, dog, come 15 feet. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew what they was doing. They was targeting people and stuff. I was like, don't come 15 feet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm targeting people too. But don't come 15 feet. You know what I'm saying? You know, go to one of the other cars. They could tell the energy, my energy. My energy was like, yeah, my energy was messed up with them. But I ain't had no problem with them though. But then and so they was out at the Bongo Beach. I went to back to the Bongo Beach like 2, 3 weeks later. It wasn't a Venezuela nowhere. I don't know what happened. But they had to leave. They was gone. All of them. Posy, one of my subscribers, Posy came to Chicago, visit me, and was Venezuelans on the whole Bongo Beach. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I went up there. It wasn't none, nowhere. I knew they wasn't gonna last. They're not. They can't. They're not gonna last in no gang city like this with no whole bunch of black gangs. They might do all right in the city with one gang, but they wasn't gonna do good in no city. Got BDs, GDs, Blackstone, folk on the hustler, 5 or 6 different types of vice lords, black souls, then the Latin kings, Latin disciples. No, it's too much. It was too much. But I was out today trying to get the young brothers to push reparations. We got to get more push for reparations in the community. And like I was going hard on it because I'm like, well, you know you're going to jump in line when we get it. You know, all of this, you ain't pushing reparations and let everybody else do the work. And then once we do the work, now you want to be the first one in line to get the check. So I was just out there letting them know, you know you're going to want the money, bro. Why you not trying to get the money? Somebody owe you a bag and you ain't trying to get it. And the only reason we're not getting reparations because the black man ain't asking for it. He ain't demanding it. He punking out. He leaving, he disrespecting his ancestors. He like, no, that was them. You're going to let somebody mistreat your ancestors at a time where they couldn't defend themselves, or you're going to come later. You're going to find out somebody did your granddaddy bogus, and you ain't going to stand on that when they did it to your granddaddy when he was under oppressions. I don't know. We just want our reparations. We don't give a damn about all that. Cut our check. You know what I'm saying? That's all we know. Cut our check. Because Americans is living off our free money. I hear what you're saying. But that money America's living off of is that recycled reparations money went into all their companies. All their companies. All their companies. Shout out to the El Rucas. All they companies got that money. All they companies got that free money. They always want to pretend that they got to go get the reparations from white taxpayers. That's a lie. They got to get that money from the railroad, the cotton industry, and all these corporations that made the money. See, that's a trick they play. When you ask for reparations, they say, why should Americans pay? But they know the corporations owe the money. They know Bank of America own the money. They know Chase Bank own the money. They know all these First National banks. Cotton, they know who owe the money. So what they do is they try to pretend you want to get it from the citizens and not from the people that got the money. Exhibit A.
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, two predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the plantation owners defaulted on the loans. Number 2, New York Life, an insurance company, sold insurance policies on enslaved Africans. Number 3, Wachovia. Two historical predecessors owned enslaved Africans and accepted them as payment. Number 4, N.M. Rothschild and Sons Bank in London. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, the banking family's 19th century patriarch, made personal gains by using enslaved Africans as collateral in dealings with a slave owner.
You get the idea. I'm not going to play everybody, but it's a bunch of them. So look, you get the idea. Step up, push for reparations, right? You get the idea. Corporations got the money, right? You can go look it up. It's all over TikTok and everywhere. So I'm going to be out of here. I'm going to do another live, but this is what I'm going to do tonight. Before I go, what do y'all want me to come back and talk about? Let me find what kind of conversation y'all want to have. It's Sunday night. I'm going to do a free fall. It's 11. It's early on the West Coast. It's not too late. It's 11 p.m. Go in the chat. Let me pick a conversation. What do y'all want to talk about tonight? What do you want to get into it about? What do you want to add? What kind of questions you going to have? What conversation? Because I got to do this more often to my subscribers. What do y'all want the conversation to be about? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. What should I talk about tonight? Let me let y'all have opportunity to create the conversation. Because you might got certain things you want to hear my take on it. It could be anything. I don't do gossip, but if enough people say the same thing, I'll talk about it. I don't do gossip. That's why I ain't said nothing about Ben 10. That's why I ain't said nothing about Megan Thee Stallion. But if it was just a big demand, I would do it for the audience. I would give my opinion, but I don't really do gossip. I don't do gossip because I got toxic masculinity, and also a lot of blacks I look up on. I can only do weather updates when there is one, okay? The moon trip that just happened, okay, somebody else. So I don't I don't like to gossip, and then I don't like to step on other content creators. So I have other content creators that I support real heavy. So I make sure I don't take no topics they got. Right? Like my brother Showface News. The young guy Showface News. I don't want to do no topic he do. See what I'm saying? I don't want to step on nobody else's lane like that. So just let them do what they do. Poetic Flacco, Showface News, Seti Nash. I don't go in their lane like that. I don't get enough credit for that, but I don't go in nobody else's lane just to get views and to make money. I could jump in somebody's lane and take a lot of money out of it, though. There's a lot of money sitting there if I jump in people's lane. And then I got a different point of view than everybody. I got a different point of view about Ben 10 and all that. I just don't do it. What about the White House shooting they was talking about? And I haven't seen no updates or nothing like that. They showing the dude that did it. Some people say it looks staged. It's definitely weird. It's definitely the Trump incidences do be looking fixed. The got shot in the air, that looked fake. This looks fake. Looks like a publicity stunt to make him get some. That's what it looked like. It don't look real. It look fake. There ain't really too much I can say about that other than it look fake. All the scientists disappeared because they know about the extraterrestrials. I could talk about that. The scientists, they be saying too much. It's not just that they know about the extraterrestrial. They be exposing top secret information. And they know they're not supposed to do that. It's not top secret for nothing. They be talking too much. You know what I mean? They be talking too much. And I could prove it. Because guess what? I would never talk about them. Why? Because if they ran their mouth too much and they got unalived, why would I discuss it and get unalived? My name West. I ain't in that mess. I'm not talking about them. Certain things you know, you're supposed to keep them to yourself. So I personally wouldn't talk about that. Why? Why would I? What are the options for the end game in Iran? That's a good one. Let me see. That's a good one. What else? The end game for Iran, I might talk about that when I do my open conversation on the news. When I do my open discussion on news, I might talk about that. But I can tell you right quick, the game is to send the traffic over here and sell them the oil they stole from Venezuela. They went and took Venezuela, right? A couple weeks later, they up there, okay, fighting right there where all the oil coming from over there. Next thing you know, the strait is closed. Next thing you know, tankers is coming to America getting oil. You do know tankers are coming here getting their oil now, right? So that's self-explanatory. That was some gangster shit. It ain't no coincidence they ran. Listen, they can't beat Venezuela. It's taking forever, right? I mean, Iran. It's taking forever to beat Iran, right? But they went in Venezuela with some high-tech weapons they don't want to talk about, right? And took Venezuela in 15 minutes with some type of weapons that I ain't going to go into details of that either. They didn't use them same weapons on Venezuela. Why they didn't, on Iran, why they didn't use the weapons they used in Venezuela on Iran? Because the idea was not to take over Iran. The idea was to shut down Iran, Saudi Arabia too, Qatar, all of them. Here's Qatar, Saudi Arabia, them, here's Iran. If we get in a beef with Iran, close it straight, none of them can get their oil through. Now, Trump telling them, come get the oil over here. Come get the oil over here. Now, all of a sudden, it's peace talks and stuff. Trump like, he don't care how long it takes. He got 3 warships down there to make sure nothing go in and out. He like, I don't care how long, the peace talks take. And hundreds of ships are coming in getting oil. Man, you don't get no more gangster than that. That's gangster. And they not reporting. They only reported it once, and I talked about it, that 121 vessels, that was last week, was coming this way to get oil. How many is it up to now? They ain't talking about it. And see, what they don't understand is Trump is the ultimate gangster. Trump is a gangster. All of that goofy stuff he doing, that's not him. That's so you won't know he's ruthless gangster. He acting like a goofy. Trump is not a goofy. Trump is dangerous. Always have been a gangster. That's why once he got back in office, I don't talk about him. Gangsters, no. You don't talk about gangsters. My name Wes. I ain't in that mess. I don't got nothing to say about dude. Once he got back to where he could have power, I talked about him when he was out of office. I ain't talking about Trump. I ain't stupid. If a man would keep his mouth closed, he wouldn't get caught like a fish in the sea. When he said make America great again, he wasn't playing. When he get out of office, America going to have more oil than they ever had and everything. He just didn't tell you how he was going to make it great. And, he didn't explain. He basically said, America finna take everybody's shit. Y'all gonna eat. Just wait. Just let me do my thing. Y'all gonna eat, America. Y'all gonna eat. Y'all gonna eat. We definitely gonna eat. He trying to get the bread for us. That's why he ain't doing nothing for Black Americans. He like, the money gonna be here. All y'all gonna have to do is go get it. I don't have to do nothing specifically for y'all. It's gonna be money for everybody that's here. Get off your black ass and go get it. When I get the money over here, blacks, go get it. The black people understand that. Like, the bread gonna be over here for anybody want to work, anybody want to hustle. Talk about the supernatural. That might be good. Any other good suggestions? What should I talk about? Y'all keep giving me suggestions. And then when I end, I need a lot of suggestions. What y'all want me to talk about? What's going on? What's going on in the news you want to talk about? What's going on on the internet that you want to discuss over here that don't get discussed? What? Do you want to go into detail? Well, let me look at it to see if I want to do it or not. I'm just not guarantee I want to do it, but I am going to do one if y'all keep giving me the suggestions. As long as it ain't something that I would never talk about. There's certain things I just don't never talk about, like open cases. I'll only talk about a case once it go to court. And it's got to be masculine. It can't be no girly case. Like the weirdo dude that had the lady in the trunk. I ain't talking about Clay and, and his girlfriend, Meg. I don't talk about that. Talk about the pharaohs and ancient kings putting money aside for us. All right, that's pretty decent. It's just not, it's not in depth enough for me to AI and deciphering what's fake and what's real. That's the good one. AI and deciphering what's fake and what's real. That's a good one. I'm definitely going to consider that. So we got one in consideration. That's a good one. You're going to have to know how to determine what's fake and what's real. That's going to become more and more difficult to do for sure. So that's a good one. There we got one. Let me write it down. Give me 2 or 3 more that I like, and I'll pick the best one. You know what I'm saying? I heard about the missing scientists. I'm not going to talk about that because I'll end up missing too. Anytime somebody's getting missing, get unalived, seems like they beefing with the government. I don't know. Science versus religion, and which way? Like, in what terms? Because science is definitely and then with his religion, because there's a lot of religions. Let me see, I'll write it down. But in what way do you mean? You gotta let me know. Give me what angle. When you say science versus religion, what angle are you saying? Because that could be a lot of different angles with that. So what angle you want me to take with that conversation? The generation gap, how Gen Z and below seem so different mentally than us before them. The generation gap, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's like at the top. I'm gonna put a star. So far that would be the one. Sunrod didn't go into details, so that's why I wouldn't know what to say. He just told me they did it. And he never went into details. I got that from Sunra. Sunra told me that, but he didn't go into details. He just told me that they put a lot of money in banks in Europe for Black Americans, but he didn't go into details. He just said that Blacks don't know it's there. So I wouldn't know what to say. I don't know the details of that. Because Sunra's point of view is that we don't know it's there. He wasn't talking from the point of view it's there. He was talking from the point of view that we don't know it's there. That's the angle he came from. He wasn't coming from how much, when they did it. He was just saying there's money there, billions, trillions, and we don't know it's there. And he was saying they can't take it out. We the only ones could take it out, but we ain't gonna take it out because we don't know it's there. But he didn't go into no details. And that was, how old was I? It was a long time ago. That was probably 1980. That was probably 1980 when he told me that. The generation gap is a real good one. Anybody else? We got one for sure, the generation gap. Let me get two more conversations that you all will feel would be exciting and something I could feel like I can expand on. Some of the conversations, if they'll be too short for me, the answers is too short. I'm looking for one that can. I don't know. I doubt it. It's probably just sitting in there. I don't know though. I don't know. I don't know. I never know nothing about it other than what he told me. How most religions follow the attributes of nature and derive from basic or advanced science. How most religions follow the attributes of nature. Do they? I don't know. I got to think. I don't know. Dreams would be good. Dreams would be good. You love when I talk about history, Brooklyn? The generation gap is real interesting. You love when I talk about history? What particular type of history? Which history? If I was going to talk about history tonight, which particular history? I'm going to write down 3, and I'm going to talk about all of them eventually. I'm going to pick one tonight, and I'm going to pick the other 2 as the week go on, like tomorrow and the next day. I need one more. I tell you what, so we don't be up all night, I'll get the next one later. I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk about the generation gap. That's what we'll talk about. And remember, reparations now.